In today's video, we're going to break down the differences between two incredible breeds, the AKITA and the Siberian Husky. Welcome back to the Fenrir AKITA Show. If this is your first time here, my name's Will, I'm a canine behaviourist and I'm the founder here at FenrirCanineLeaders.com. This channel is dedicated to helping you learn everything that you could possibly ever want to know about the incredible AKITA, then how to become a high-level canine leader that can raise perfect AKITA companions. So if you love the AKITA as much as we do here at Fenrir, start your journey by hitting that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a future video. And today we're going to take a look into what really separates the amazing AKITA from the Siberian Husky. And in many ways these are quite similar breeds, not only in their more wolf-like appearance, but also in their strong and aloof character. For this video, I've broken down the differences and similarities of these fascinating dogs. So let's dive right in, and we're going to start with the history of the AKITA versus the history of the Siberian Husky. And that is the first thing that these breeds have in common is around their ancient history. Siberian Huskies are amongst the oldest dog breed in the planet. However, the AKITA might be even more ancient, with researchers suggesting that they have been around even prior to some recorded history. Now, back in the Middle Ages, the privilege of owning Japan's pride and joy, the majestic AKITA dog, was exclusively reserved for the shogun. These rulers of Japan liked their hunting expeditions, and they daringly went after large game such as elk, bear and wild boar. Now, of course, catching such dangerous prey was no easy feat, but luckily for the shogun, the huge muscle-packed AKITAs of the time had what it took to assist them. Bred for agility and endurance, these intrepid dogs tracked down the animals for the hunters and flushed them out. But not only that, working together in a pack, the AKITAs kept their prey animals in check until their owners could arrive to finish the job. Now, quite obviously, such a task required not only courage but also considerable strength, not only because of the ferocity of the game pursued, but also because of the rough, mountainous and icy terrain the dogs had to work in. After World War II, US soldiers brought several of these fearless hunters back with them to the United States, but it was not until the early 1980s that the breed spread to many other countries of the world. Now, let's look at where the stunning Siberian Husky actually came from. And as its name suggests, its history began in Siberia. Now, in around 1908, the first Huskies were brought to Alaska as competitors in sled dog races. Today, Siberian Huskies have been developed from the native sled dogs originally bred in northeast Siberia. These dogs are said to have been around for thousands and thousands of years, and the indigenous people of Siberia, who were called the Chukchi, had good reason to perfect their canines through selective breeding. Their survival depended on these dogs, and without the sleds they would have simply starved to death, as there was no other way for the hunters to take food back to their families. In the 1930s, 12 of these Siberian sled dogs were introduced into the United States, and soon this extraordinary new breed became popular in other countries as well. And it is said that every single Siberian Husky in the world has ancestry going back to the handful of dogs who were imported into the US in those early parts of the 20th century. Sorry to very quickly interrupt the video, guys. I just wanted to let you know, if you haven't done it already, over on our website, FenrirCanineLeaders.com, we have a completely free quiz that I designed myself for you to be able to take. It asks you a few questions based on some of the things that I think are really important for what guard dog breed will be perfect for you. So you go through that quiz, you answer the questions honestly, and then at the end it will give you what I think the perfect guard dog breed for you is. And again, it's completely free, just trying to help you guys out as much as we can. So again, there'll be a link down to it in the description box below. If you haven't done it already, go, even if you're not necessarily interested in getting a guard dog breed anytime soon. I know a lot of people have found it really fun just to see what kind of breed I would recommend for you. So get stuck in, go and have a look, but without further ado, we'll get back to the video you were just watching. Now, in their outer appearance, both these archaic breeds have many similarities. This is especially the case for the slightly smaller and lighter AKITA Inu, with the American AKITA being larger and bulkier. Now, both breeds have beautiful, thick and plush coats that come in a variety of colours, such as fawn, brindle, sesame, fawn and white, for example. Now, other physical traits shared by both kinds are their small, erect, triangular shaped ears and their curly brush tails. In their overall appearance, both the Akita and the Husky are well proportioned, with their bodies showing the promise of immense strength and that incredible agility. Now, with all that said then, how can you tell the Husky and the Akita apart? And despite all their similarities, there are a few distinct features, most notably the eyes. Huskies often come with stunning ice blue eyes, or with one blue and one brown eye. As well, the Husky is smaller and lighter than the Akita, with males standing upwards of around 23 inches, and like most breeds, females being a little bit smaller. And their weight can range from 20 to 27 kilos, which is around 45 to 60 pounds. Again, females naturally then being a little bit lighter. Now, Akita Inus, also known as Japanese Akitas, are considerably taller and heavier than Siberian Huskies, with breed standards only allowing dark brown eyes. Adult males stand at around 70 centimetres or 28 inches and weigh between up to 50 kilos, which is around 110, 120 pounds, again with the females being a little bit lighter and smaller. Now, their American cousins are usually much taller and considerably heavier than these Japanese Akita variables. So then, now we're going to talk about the intelligence and trainability of these striking working dogs and just how interesting they really are. And whilst we can say with assurance that both are very smart, this intelligence does come with a price, so to speak. They both have a strong tendency to think and act independently. In fact, these amazing dogs are so independent and aloof, they sometimes seem to act more like cats than like typical dogs. To say they have a stubborn streak and are hard to train is really an understatement. This independence is deeply ingrained in the Husky and can be traced back to their past as sled dogs. Since the beginning of recorded history, or even before, the indigenous people of Siberia had to rely on these dogs, and without them there was no way to get meat from their hunting expeditions back to their families. And such journeys were extremely dangerous, as the heavy sleds could easily break through thin layers of ice, dragging men and dogs to terrible depths in freezing cold water. As it was humanly impossible to predict the thickness of ice sheets laying ahead, the Chukchi people had no choice but to rely on their dogs' instincts. The decision to halt or deviate from certain routes was therefore not made by the musher, but their lead dogs. And the men had learned to trust their dogs, which no doubt has saved countless lives over the years. And that is precisely why Siberian Huskies are very used to thinking for themselves and to evaluate situations before they're making their own decisions. Of course, this presents us with a dog who does not at all really feel the need to please their owners. This is not to say that Huskies cannot be trained to decent levels of obedience, but it does take a lot of skill and patience on the part of the handler to be able to achieve any kind of serious results. Now, the Akita is no less of an independent thinker, albeit for different reasons. Their role as hunting assistants in ancient Japan, who had to take on large, dangerous game, laid the foundation for their own personal streak of independence, or, put in less kind words, stubbornness. Like Huskies, Akitas had to work in a pack without much interference from their humans, because the hunters had to rely on dogs to find, flush out, and then hold the game at bay. As we can see, each breed's historical context explains that independent streak, and whilst this apparent stubbornness does not make educating these amazing dogs any easier, it does make any success that you do achieve even more rewarding. Now, for even more information on this fascinating subject, you can check out our blog post where we talk about their temperament and their exercise differences and their grooming requirements and much, much more. You can find that over on FenrirK9Leaders.com, but I hope you did enjoy that quick-fire video breakdown of the differences between these two incredible breeds. And if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up button. It means the world to us when you do. And remember, if you are here, to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a future Akita video, because I cannot wait to speak to you again on the next episode of the Fenrir Akita Show.